Not hard to make 5 to 10 contacts per day in each area that you're prospecting. So if you're doing for sale by owners, you need to make 5 to 10 contacts in that area. If you're working your sphere, that's another area. Expired, canceled, all of them 5 to 10 contacts per day. The biggest and hardest part of prospecting is all the research you have to do. And I'm going to show you guys in a minute how to get past that. You need to be making calls 5 days a week. The key to this is doing it consistently. And no matter what anybody tells you, between 8:30 a.m. and 12 p.m. is the best time to make your calls. Do not make calls during dinner time. The only thing you're going to do is tick people off. 8:30 to 12, if you don't get a hold of them and you get voicemail, leave a voicemail. But make that voicemail very short, no more than 30 seconds, because you're going to lose them after 30 seconds. They're going to stop listening. My recommendation is figure out what you want to say, time it, get it down to a science, and every time that phone hits the voicemail, say the thing. That way you know you're not going over your time. Okay? And you'll have one, it'll be slightly different for sale by owners than it is for expireds. Your voicemail. Okay? I will attempt to do the one I used to use. And you can time me if you want. It'll be about 30 seconds. Hello, this is Tammy Powell with Coldwell Banker. I was calling to see if you are still interested in selling your home. I saw that it expired this morning. If you are, please give me a call back at 815-97653. And I think there might have been a little bit more in there, but it's been a while since I've done that. But you don't want to get too long with it. And don't get too involved with it. Just leave the voicemail for them to call you back. Okay. Make your FSBO calls daily. Call expireds immediately as they take place, because you need to go. You're going to see them every day. You're going to see expireds out there. Spend an average of 10 hours a week in prospecting activities. Whatever kind of prospecting you're doing, 10 hours a week. Now, I don't know if any of you are doing farming. If you are, it's long term. That is not going to get you business right away. It is something I do highly recommend, but most people, it's very rare for someone to get business in right away. Okay. If you guys, there's only a few of you on the call, so if you have a question, just don't hesitate just to chime in. Okay. If you need into something. Keys for getting some big results. Know who to call and when. Give yourself the best chance for a good result. Know why you're calling. Have a compelling reason for calling. Know how many to call. Don't burn yourself out. Use the law of averages. Know how to call. Know the subtle yet effective techniques that work. And your schedule has to work for you. I cannot give you a schedule. I'm going to go through a guideline that you could use, a schedule that generally works. But if you don't have a schedule, you're going to get distracted and get nothing accomplished. You got to work smarter, not harder. I always use time blocking because if you don't use time blocking, the issue becomes that you're not able to move your time around. You schedule too much stuff and you get burned out and you can't make things work. Do any of you have no experience in time blocking? Do you understand what I'm talking about? Anybody? Okay, so you've all done time blocking before. The issues you run into, and most of you work from home, issues you run into is you get caught up in internet surfing. You probably don't have any issue with the noisy coworker, but one thing I always found when I was working from home is that when you work from home, everybody thinks you don't work so that you have time to do everything for them. You got to keep your family under control. I always found it best to have a specific room in the house that I worked and I could go in and close the door. And they knew if that door was closed, leave me alone. Okay. Emails. Emails can drive you insane. The gossip you shouldn't have an issue with, and the cell phones and texting. Pick specific times during the day to return calls. When you're doing your calls, when you're making your prospecting calls, nothing should be allowed to interrupt you. Because if it does, you're not going to get back to it. That's the easiest thing to get distracted from. It's kind of like going to the gym. You know you got to do it. You know you need to do it. You know you need to work out, but you don't want to do it. And given any opportunity to get distracted from it and not do it, you're going to. Okay? So the schedule that, as I would suggest, and it's the schedule that was suggested to me, I made some little tweaks in it, but daily, Monday through Friday. This is the stuff that you do every day, Monday through Friday. Call for sale by owners, 5 to 7 a day. Okay. Check the newspapers, newspaper websites for sale by owners. Check Craigslist. Check the FSBO sites. They are on Zillow, guys. Go to google.com and Google homes for sale by owner. You'll be amazed at how many websites there are out there. Okay. Signs. For sale by owner signs. There are a lot of for sale by owners who don't put out a sign and market the property online, but there's also a lot of them that just stick a sign in the yard and see what happens. One key to that is make sure that you've always got a notepad in your car or take a photo of the sign. Keep some material in your car that you can always walk up to the door and knock if you've got the time. You can also just write, like I said, just write it down. But take a different route. Don't always take the same route home or to the store or wherever you're going. Go down a different street. You'll be amazed at how many more signs you will see by doing that. Okay? Like I said, chime in if you got questions. Enter them into the CRM. InTouch has great drip campaigns for sellers, for buyers. It also gives you reminders to call people. Okay. And those reminders to call people, you're not going to just call these people one time. So having that reminder, I mean, you're calling the new for sale by owners, you're calling the new expireds every day. But what about the ones that you haven't been able to get in touch with? Or the ones that say, call me back in 2 weeks. I want to try it for a month. Call me back. Okay. Those guys, you need to be able to have some type of a system that will allow you to be reminded of when to call them. The InTouch CRM can do that. Okay. Are any of you using it? Anybody? Can you guys still hear me? Hello? Can you guys still hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I just wasn't sure. I'm on mute. I unmuted everyone. I don't know if you guys have been trying to ask questions or not, but it seems to be remuting you as I unmute you. So, all right. So get it into a CRM. I highly recommend InTouch. It's a very good CRM, very customizable. Okay. Expired and canceled listings, 5 to 7 contacts per day. Pull this info from the MLS. You got to research the phone numbers because they're not in the MLS. I remember the good old days when they were, when agents would actually put into the MLS to call the seller to set the appointment. Can't do that anymore. Okay. Enter them into the CRM just like you would the for sale by owners so that you know when to call them back. And get smart and get the red X. It's going to eliminate pretty much all of this work, including the CRM if you want to. Okay. At the end, I will go into their system and show it to you. I'm considering trying to get them to come out to the office and do a presentation. I used that system for many years and it made a huge difference in my income. It is worth every penny you pay for it. Now, back when I used to use it, it only had for sale by owners, canceled and expireds available. Now it has properties that could possibly go into foreclosure, short sales. It has God, we'll see it when I go into the website, but it's got a ton of other sources of business in there now. So what it does is that it finds all of the for sale by owners, canceled, expireds, any other that you want to utilize. It tracks down the phone numbers, the owners, email addresses if possible, scrubs it all against the do not call list. And in the course of 5 minutes, you can have all the information every morning and be ready to go. Imagine that versus checking the newspapers, Craigslist, for sale by owner sites, Zillow, Google, Signs, CRM, putting it in CRMs, stuff from the MLS, having to find the phone numbers, having to figure out who the owners are. It does that all for you. And it has a CRM built into it, which is specifically designed for prospecting. It even has, it didn't have this when I used to use it, it even has a auto dialer built into it now. Now I use an auto dialer for recruiting. I've got 3 lines running at the same time. Makes a huge difference. I can do what you would normally take 2 or 3 hours in the course of maybe a half an hour. Okay, so it will save you all of the research time. Okay, so Mondays, use Monday for your personal marketing time. And by that, I mean working on your website, working on your social media. If you're planning on doing the custom business cards, custom logos, spend some time doing that. Anything that is, you would personally market yourself. Not the houses, not anything else, yourself. Working on that on Monday, should be on Monday. Tuesday, send thank you notes to your previous day's contacts. This is going to be pretty much a daily item. Okay. Make 5 to 10 contacts to people in your sphere. 5 to 10 contacts to people in your farm area if you do farm. And it sounds difficult to do, but if you're farming and doing it right, you're going to be out walking your neighborhood, meeting people, and when you're meeting them in person, you're going to be able to get information from them. If you're using CBX or another program, you may be able to get information from there. Also, make sure you're friending everyone in your farm area on Facebook. You will be surprised at how many people have their phone numbers and email addresses on there. Okay. Wednesdays, repeat Tuesday. Thursday, send the thank you notes for previous days contacts. Make in-person, just listed, just sold, or open house contacts. Okay. And we used to call this the 10-10-20. If you just listed a property, just sold a property, or you're having an open house, you want to walk the neighborhood and you want to knock on the door and leave information to 10 houses on each side of that property and 20 houses across the street. So 10 on each side and 20 across the street, 10, 20. Okay. And I know that everybody says that nobody shows up at open houses, but the nosy neighbors, you want those nosy neighbors. Nosy neighbors like being able to pick out their own neighbor. Okay, they may know someone that likes the neighborhood. They may not be planning on moving, but they may know someone who likes the neighborhood. Or they're coming in to look and see how things are done at the open house because they're considering selling. So don't discount those people. And generally when a property goes on the market, 2 or 3 more will go on the market on the same block. So those just listed, just sold, not just the postcards, get in front of these people, okay? On Friday, again, send your thank you notes. Make these notes handwritten, guys. Do them on the computer. Handwritten notes, just a short thank you for taking the time to talk to me. Hardly anyone else is doing that. Spend some more personal marketing time. One of the things I would say to do would be to get the Hootsuite account for your social media. When you log into Hootsuite.com, you're going to have to scroll down slightly to see the free account. You're not going to see it easy. You're going to scroll down and there is a free account. It accommodates 3 social media sites, but you can post to all 3 with one single post, easy. And you've got all the information you need right on my desk. We'll go into my desk after we're done and I'll show you a few things, guys. Okay. On Saturday, call physicals, cancels, and expires from the past you've not been able to reach, and new ones from today. Okay? So Saturday, you're gonna spend 2-3 hours doing this. Okay? Call the ones you have not been able to get in touch with. And just keep calling them. And I know that sounds like a lot of work, but that 30-second voicemail I told you to leave, I leave that 30-second voicemail every Saturday for 6 months. Count up the time. Okay? That's not a lot of time. And after 6 months, I got a call from the people in one house that I really wanted the listing on. This was a beautiful home, high value. They asked me to come out and list their home. They said, we don't need you to bring a marketing plan. The only thing we need is a CMA because we know that it's been 6 months and the house value may have changed some. Every Saturday when we come back from the gym, we have the same voicemail from you. And we can tell that it is not a recorded voicemail. And we figure if you're that adamant about getting our listing, you'll be that adamant about getting it sold. I sold the house in 30 days and made a heck of a lot of money on it. Okay, so that Saturday call, leaving that voicemail, if you've never even ever gotten a hold of them, keep. So all the rest of the days, you're calling the people from those days. You're not getting a hold of them on that day. You're putting them into your Saturday calls. And on Saturday, everybody you've not been able to get a hold of, you're calling. Well, I was never able to reach, so they started getting that Saturday call every Saturday, 30-second voicemail. And if you ask me, too many people out there who train people to call 3 times and stop. You're losing a lot of money doing that. Like I said, count up 6 months, 30 seconds once a week. That's not a lot of time to spend to make, several $1,000s. Okay. So never give up. Make in person, just sold open house contacts on Saturday if you haven't all of them. And on Sunday, that's your family, hobbies, religion time. And if you have open houses or appointment only business, okay, don't plan anything on Sunday if you don't have to, unless you're an open house. But anything other than an open house should be by appointment only. Okay. Most of your prospecting can be automated. Like I said, the Red X will streamline it and automate it massively for you. But you have to make the calls no matter what. It's the key to making money in real estate. You got to keep doing the same thing. And these are proven ways of getting business. There's a lot of, and trust me, I believe in thinking outside the box. There's a lot of wild concepts out there. But calling, picking up the phone, that's what sales is about. I don't care where you're in sales, that's what it's about. So why call the expired listing when it's property didn't sell? 1 out of every 5 sellers feel they have listed with the wrong company. And they had to suffer through a period of poor marketing strategies, excuses, and then they realize they've made a mistake. They're still stuck with that forever how long that listing is. And if you keep a close watch on your market, keep track of the listings when they come on the market and when they expire, you'll start becoming aware of how long agents take a listing for, okay? And when they do expire, you'll be aware of them and be able to contact the seller and offer them a solution to their problem. Always make sure that when you're going out to an expired listing that you review that listing on MLS thoroughly. Find all the flaws. Find every flaw. Take it with you when you go out to the appointment. There may be flaws that you're not seeing until you get there. Okay. And it pays to know the marketing times of different agents and different companies. And remember, timing's everything with the expired listing. One of the reasons I liked the Red X was because I walked into the office at 8 o'clock. By 8:30, I had my coffee and I was on the phone. Everybody else was on the phone by 11 o'clock. Okay, I was the first one leaving the message. Imagine in the morning, how many voicemails these people are getting, how many phone calls they're getting. Time 11 o'clock rolls around, they're not even listening anymore. It's those first few calls, those first few voicemails they're going to listen to. The rest are getting deleted. So timing's everything. Okay, the faster you can get on that phone with them, the more likely you are to get the business and get in the door. And since they expire every day, you got to go through that system every day. For sale by owners. You guys like that sign? About what some of them look like, to be honest with you. I've seen some pretty bad ones out there. 3 rules to remember. You're not going to get the appointment with every FSBO you call, so relax. Okay. And you know what I think the biggest fear for people is not knowing what to say and calling someone they don't know and messing up. Here's a tip, guys. I don't care if you call for sale by owner, expired, or canceled, and you mess up royally on that phone. I will guarantee you can be in line behind that person or in front of that person at Walmart the very next day, and they will have no clue who you are. It's like making a prank call. They have no clue who you are. They won't remember you the next day if you don't get the appointment. Don't worry about it. If you mess up, you mess up. After a while, you start getting good at it, and you don't mess up anymore. Okay? So relax. Make it a game. You know, you've got 20 today. What's your score today? We'll get into that, a little bit of that later. You're not calling. Get the listing. Get the appointment. Get in the door. And one thing I'm going to tell you, if they ask you what your commission is, do not tell them. Never discuss pricing or commission over the phone. If they ask you, what is your commission? Anybody got a comeback for that you're not going to have to give them a price and still get in the door? I always had one thing I always told them.
It's negotiable.
It is negotiable, and I don't know what my commission is until I see what the job is. Your house may take me a long time to sell. I may have to do a lot of marketing for your home. Or I may come out to your home and realize that your home's going to sell in a week, and I'm not going to have to do a lot of marketing. But asking me what my commission is like asking a painter what it's going to cost to paint the outside of your home. They can't tell you. I cannot tell you what it's going to cost to do the job. But if you're willing to set an appointment with me, I can come out, look at your home, and tell you what it will cost you. And how much you can sell the home for.
What happens when they get pushy, wanting to know that commission rate? Because sometimes I've got them rolling back 5 times to get that commission rate out of you.
And that one is a person that you're probably not going to get in the door. They're not interested in selling the home. They're not interested in anything other than the commission. Okay.
Okay.
Their numbers, that's all they're caring about is the numbers. You know,
Okay.
use exactly what I told you and see if that ends it.
Okay.
No, my commission is negotiable, and I will tell you why it is negotiable. Because I don't know what it's going to cost to do the job. Okay? If I come out and it's going to take me a year to get your home sold, and I'm going to have to spend a fortune on marketing, my commission is going to be higher. But if I come out and look at your home and it's going to take a week to sell it, and I'm not really going to have to do any marketing on it, it'll be lower. So asking me what my commission is going to be is like asking a painter what it's going to cost to paint your house. I can't tell you until I see what the job is. So if you're willing to let me come out and take a look at your home and talk to you, I'll be able to give you a price at that time, but I can't do it before that. And any agent who does give it to you before that is doing you an injustice. So, okay. If they keep pushing after that, you might want to just remove them from your calling list.
Yeah,
Okay?
because sometimes I got my 4% guy lined up, they say.
Well, if you got your 4% guy lined up and you're not interested in getting your home sold, that's fine.
Right.
Are you interested in 4%, or are you interested in getting the highest price out of your home in the shortest amount of time?
Exactly. Okay.
because you're going to get what you pay for. Okay. If you want a Cadillac, then Coldwell Banker is where you need to be listing your home. If you want a beater, then, you know, the 4% guy, go ahead. But you know, how much quality, what quality do you want? Do you want the Cadillac of real estate, or do you want the buy here, pay here lot?
Okay.
Okay. You have to move it into something they understand. Okay. Everybody buys cars, they buy them a lot. They don't buy houses a lot. Okay. So when you equate the commission and the company to the difference between a Cadillac or a buy here, pay here lot with a piece of junk, they get that. Okay.
Okay.
And I actually, if I can ever figure out who I loaned all of my CDs for, I have, I can't remember who I loaned those to. I'm going to send an email on that. I've got nice visuals that you can use for that too. Okay. So when you get the resistance from them over the phone, don't argue or really attempt to overcome the objection or resistance, acknowledge it and move on. But when they start pushing on that commission, they're not going to let you in the door until you get them to shut up about it. Okay.
Mhm.
That's the one thing that you cannot give them over the phone. And you have to explain why. Anything else, just understand and move on. If I were you, I'd feel the same way. You know, but move on. Don't spend a lot of time on them. Objections you will handle when you get there. Okay. The appointment. Key, once you get in the door, the key to a successful appointment. Establish an easy, comfortable rapport. Don't be anxious. You're not going to list them all. Make sure that, though, that you have got a listing presentation that stands out above everybody else's. Walks in the door with the same listing presentation from the MLS on that house. How is the seller supposed to choose who they're going to list their home with when everybody is handing them the same thing? It's going to make it quite difficult. You need to be able to stand out above the rest. And I will tell you right now, of all the listing presentation programs I have seen, Moxie Present is the best. They used it at the company I came from before I came here. And I was very happy to see that Coldwell Banker was using it because it is the best by far of any I have ever seen. It's nowhere near as complicated as you think it is. It's actually very easy. Okay. Bring a little gift as a token of your appreciation, a refrigerator magnet, you know, the ones that have the calendar on them, a pot holder, something. Some little thing. Okay. You're there for 3 reasons. To evaluate the product, like I said. Just like a painter, you cannot give them a price on the commission or the house until you know what you're dealing with. All right. Determine the motivation of the seller. What is their urgency to sell? Like I said, the person who's pushing and will not shut up about that commission, the motivation is to get a deal. It's not to sell their home. Okay. How urgent is it for them to sell? And I'll give you some questions in a minute that will help you with that. Create the opportunity for them to discuss hiring you. Every now and then you get lucky and they do hire you. If you will work with me, guys, you will be at over a 90% listing success. Okay. Getting things started. Ask them to give you a tour of the house. My recommendation is when you go into the house, other than if you're going to use, I don't know if you hate how you like to take notes. Me, I like to take notes on my iPad. You've got a pad of paper, ever how you're going to take your notes on the house. Keep that in your hand, and everything else should end up on a dining room or kitchen table. Okay. Get into the kitchen, you know, get everything set down on the table, then ask them to give you a tour of the house. You want Mr. and Mrs. Seller, or Mr. and Mr. Seller, or Mrs. and Mrs. Seller, or whoever sitting straight across from you. You do not want them sitting across from each other. You got to try to set it up so that you're looking at them, they're not looking at each other. Because as we all know, when a couple has been together long enough, all it takes is eye contact and they know what the other one's saying. All right? You don't want them doing that. show you the houses if you were a buyer, especially with the for sale by owner. Okay? Ask them to point out the details they feel give the house value. A lot of times these people don't realize what does give a house value. All right? A perfect example is a swimming pool. A swimming pool is neither here nor there. An appraiser's not going to give you a lot of money for a swimming pool because some people hate them, some people love them. I've had one, couldn't give me another one. I don't feel that we have enough time to use one around here for the amount of trouble they give you. Take control of it by saying, why don't we start in, say, the living room? Okay. As you tour the home, ask for information such as room sizes. You know, is that ceramic tile or is that travertine? You know, things like that. Ask some questions. An information sheet if they're for sale by owner, and if that already has all that, and if they don't, ask them if you can take measurements. Don't just start taking measurements without asking. Okay, it can make them a little nervous. If they hesitate, just tell them that anyone interested in the home is going to want room sizes. And you know what? If they don't already have that, you'll give them the room sizes, because if their information sheet doesn't have that on it, the buyer's going to want it. It gives you the opportunity to get the information. Okay.
On your first bullet point where it says ask them to give a tour, and you're talking about sitting at the table, you said it's about getting inside,
No.
getting to the table.
Just get your stuff on the table.
Oh, on the table. Gotcha.
Who you're going to work on.
Okay.
And, you know, you walk in the door, you're talking, you know, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, do you mind if I sit everything down here? Grab a pad of paper, and could you give me a tour of the home? Okay. Questions to ask while you're in the home. Why are you selling? Boy, are you going to get a lot of information here. This is when you're going to start getting your motivation. Where are they moving? And how soon do they have to be there? These 3 questions are going to tell you whether or not you want to list this house. And sometimes you don't want to list the house. All right. So why are they selling? If they say, well, just wanted to see what the market's like out there. This person doesn't want to sell. This person's not motivated to sell. Okay. Where are you planning to move? You know, if they say they're moving to Texas and they need to be there in no more than 6 months because they have a job lined up there, this person, you want to list their home. They're motivated. Okay. But where are you moving? Well, I don't know. Somewhere in the Chicago area. Once we see what the market's like, how soon do you have to be there? We're in no hurry. This is going to be the house that I saw yesterday. It's been on the market since 2015. Okay. I was looking at it in the MLS. Somebody said the house had been on the market for 5 years. It had. Okay. This is a person you do not want to list. But if they're selling, and if you ask them why they're selling, they say, you know what, I got a job offer in Texas, and it's, you know, it's a 50% pay increase, not to mention the fact of how cheap it is to live there. And you ask them how soon they have to be there. You know, they're telling me, you know, 4 to 6 months I need to be there. These are people who are going to price their home right and are motivated to get it sold. Okay, if that's your person that you want that listing. How did you determine your asking price? This is for the for sale by owner. And even sometimes they expired and canceled because we just had a house sold almost $700,000 in the office. It was a referral from an agent in Illinois that did not have an Indiana license. The guy had 2 houses, one in Illinois, one in Indiana, and he's moving to Florida, I believe. And the former agent had not only let the seller price the home themselves, they had allowed them to take all the pictures themselves. It was horrible on a house that expensive. Have you had it appraised? If they've had it appraised, and you list the house, get a copy of that appraisal. If that appraisal is less than 6 months old, it's a good appraisal. This is a question for sale by owner. I wouldn't ask this if it canceled or expired. If you sold your home and then found out 2 to 3 months later that you sold it for less than what it was worth, would that bother you? because most of the time for sale by owners discovered they sold it for less than what it was worth. Okay. So this is a link. Now I'm going to send you guys this PowerPoint. For sale by owner founder sells condo using real estate agent. Okay. This is an article that you definitely want to read. I'm not going to go through the whole thing right now. So when he was trying it with his own company, he had it at a lower price. He jumped the sales price by $150,000 from $2 million to $2.1 million. And he sold it at a 7.5% higher price by listing it with an agent. Take a look at this article. The link's going to be in the PowerPoint. Okay. NAR's statistics. Okay. This is the annual guide. This is the one that came out in 2018. I haven't looked at the one from 2019. It's I'll try and find those numbers for you. But if you go down here, scroll down, you will find in the home seller statistics. Just below that, you'll find the for sale by owner statistics. For sale by owners account for 7% of the home sales in 2017. Typical FSBO home sold for $200,000 compared to $265,000 for a agent assisted home. Methods that for sale by owners use to sell their home: yard buying, 22%. That's the most used. Okay. Other than none, did not actively market the home. 49% of the for sale by owners said they did not actively market the home. They marketed it to friends, relatives, or neighbors. 6% used online classified ads. 10% used an open house. For sale by owner websites, only 5%. Social media, 12%. Multiple listing service website, 4%. I think any realtor who's a member of a MLS that is allowing for sale by owners on there needs to have a fit and stop that. Print newspaper, 2%. Direct mail, 2%. Video, 1%. Most difficult task for sale by owners is getting the price right. 17% of them said. Understanding and performing the paperwork, 12%. I listed a for sale by owner one time that he said that every time a buyer got interested and they would ask for the disclosures, that all of a sudden they never heard from them again. They would say they were considering writing an offer and give them all the disclosures, and then they'd never write the offer. Your disclosures. Guy hands me these disclosures, and it was a nightmare. So I'm going through these disclosures, and I'm like, do you have a roof leak? No, we fixed that. Then why did you disclose that you have a roof leak? They thought that everything that had ever happened to that house, they had to disclose. And it looked like a nightmare because they were disclosing things that had been repaired. Selling within their planned length of time. Preparing and fixing up the home for sale. A lot of times for sale owners don't even know what needs to be done. Having enough time to devote to all aspects of the sale. I'm surprised that's not higher than 3%, because everybody's got such busy lives anymore. They don't have the time to do something like this. It's a full-time job selling a home. Okay, that really amazes me that only 3% said that was a problem for them. So let me grab this email. Okay. Are you able to see this screen that's coming up? Guys, are you still there?
Yep, nothing.
Can you see the expired script that just popped up on the screen?
No, it's black.
No.
Okay, give me a second here. Okay, I'm going to click on new share. There we go. This should be it. Now, can you see it?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Now, I will tell you right now, I am not a fan of scripts. I hate them. I think they can be very ridiculous. This is what I will tell you. You cannot put someone else's words in your mouth. And when you've got a Southern accent like mine, it really does not work. Okay? There are just words that some of these people will tell you to say in these scripts that when they come out of my mouth sound ridiculous. So, take the script and make it your own. The key is to getting the information from the script. Okay? So, on your expired script, are you still planning to sell your home? When do you plan to interview agents for the job of selling your home? Okay. That's only if they answered yes to number one. Okay. I'd love to have the opportunity to interview for the job. Could we set up a time for me to come by and show you what I could do to help you get your home sold on this date at this time? Will all decision makers be available at that time? It's no good to waste your time going out to a listing appointment if everyone who needs to sign that listing agreement is not there. Okay? What I always hate is when they tell you that everybody will be there and then they show up and somebody had to work late, but they didn't bother to call you and tell you. But, you know, it happens. You'll get past it. In order for me to prepare for a meeting, could I ask you a few questions? How soon do you need to be moved? I want to prepare a net sheet for you so you know what you will net from the sale of your home. In order to do that, I need to know approximately how much you owe on your home. Okay, everything else, taxes and stuff, you can get from the tax site. Okay, run all the numbers, and there's no way for you to get the net amount of money you need in order to make the move. I'm sure you would want me to call you instead of wasting your time, correct? In order to do that, I need to know approximately how much you will need to make the move. Do you have a number in mind? So they're willing to give you the information of what they need to net. You know, then when you do that net sheet, if they say that they need to net, you know, $100,000 to make the move, and you can only get them $25,000, call them. Be straight up with them. There's no point in you going out there if they can't make the move. This is a question that I wish I had in my arsenal before I had to sit down with a young couple who had listed their home with an agent who did not do a net sheet. And by law, we are supposed to do net sheets. We're supposed to do an estimated net sheet before we list that house. The previous agent had not done an estimated net sheet. When I showed them the estimated net sheet on the property, the wife busted out in tears. The reason she busted out in tears was because they had put down their entire life savings of $10,000 with a builder, non-refundable, to build a home. And the amount of money they were going to be able to get out of their house was not enough to buy the new home. So they just lost $10,000. Ended up not listing it, and I later heard from them that they managed to beg the builder to bring them their money back, but they weren't ready to sell their home and purchase for a few more years. Thank you for taking the time to speak with me. I'm looking forward to meeting you on this day at this time. If I run into any issues or questions about your home between now and then, I'll give you a call. If you prefer email or text, I always find out what their preferred method of communication in this case, okay? But this is just once they agree to talk to you on the phone, this is just a short script to help you get the information you need to prepare their May and net sheet, okay? Now the questions for the for sale by owner. How long do you plan on trying for sale by owner before you will hire an agent to get your home sold? Okay. They may tell you never. I had a lady who told me never. After I talked to her, she goes, well, you know what? Call me back in a couple of weeks. Let's see. Ended up talking to her once a week. We actually got to be friends on the phone. She hated realtors. She ended up not hating me. I ended up listing her house and selling it for her. Have you interviewed any agents yet? Okay. I work with a lot of buyers too, so if I have a buyer for your home, would you be willing to pay a commission? Okay. A lot of times you see these for sale by owners that might work for your buyer. Opportunity to get your buyer in and maybe just sell it and be done with it. Okay. You're not going to get paid as much, but hey, you get paid and you get your buyer in a house. Sell by owner. Love to have an opportunity to interview for the job. We set up a time for me to come by, show you how the same thing, okay? All right. If we set up a time for me to come by and view your home and take some photos to show buyers who may be interested. I cannot recommend a home if I do not know what it is. And work for you. Don't do the buyer thing unless you actually work with buyers. Okay. I was a straight up listing agent. I had buyers agents on my team. I didn't work with buyers, but I had buyers constantly calling. My buyers agents work with them. But if you don't like working with buyers and you don't work with a lot of buyers, don't use the buyer. Okay. Will all decision makers be available at that time? I'd like to go ahead and save some time and get your signatures on the documents that would allow me to bring a buyer to you and still sell by owner if I have a buyer that their criteria. Okay. In order for me to know if a buyer would be interested, could I ask you a few questions? What is your asking price? How did you determine that price? How long have you been marketing the home at that price? If they answer over 3 months and don't have an appraisal, move on. Thank you for talking with me and letting me see your home. Happy to prepare an updated market analysis for you so you know you have the right price. Would that be okay? So if they've been on, trying to sell it for over 3 months and they do not have an appraisal, ask the, tell them know that you'll be more than happy to do an updated market analysis to help them get the house price right. Okay. And in order to that, could you tell me how many bedrooms, bathrooms, basements? Don't ask if you already got the information, okay? Anything else you feel would make your home more valuable. So ask the questions about the house, but if the questions, if you already know that from the marketing that you found the house with, then, don't ask it again. I'd be happy to prepare a net sheet for you. So you know what you'll net from the sale of your home. In order to do that, I need to know approximately how much you owe on your home. They may get a little expensive on that. If they do, just, tell them, say, you know what, I can use the amount that you purchased the home for, and then you know how much you owe on it. You can take nothing off of that. Don't push if they don't want to tell you that. Some people get real defensive about that. Thank you for taking time to speak with me. This is the same thing as with the experts. Okay? So one thing I'm going to tell you is, please, guys, track your numbers. And the reason, there's several reasons why you want to track your numbers. First of all, see what's working for you. Some people do better than others with, farming, for sale by owners, expireds, track your numbers. Okay, how many contacts are you making? Okay, your leads. How many contacts are you making on the leads, your new leads? Okay, so how many contacts did you make? How many new people did you add to your sphere, past clients, FSBOs that day? Your results, how many hours spent prospecting? And I'm going to send this to you guys too, okay? A leads generated. And what that means is that's the guy who has to be in Texas and 6 months to get a job and he needs his household. That's an A lead. Okay. How many buyer appointments, how many expired appointments, listing appointments, how many listings taken, how many sales, how many contracts did you write, and any other business that you want to put in here. You track everything you're doing. Okay. You want to know your numbers. You should know your numbers well enough so that when you sell a house, you know exactly how many times you need to pick up that phone to replace that in your inventory, okay? Your activity stats, contacts per hour, hours to an appointment, contacts to an appointment, contacts to a listing, hours to a buyer sell, appointments to a listing, listings to a sale, average dollar per contract, average dollar per hour prospecting, average dollar per deal, average monthly income. So these are numbers that track yourself for a year using this. And you have a total year's worth of numbers. And you know this. You can look at your income and say, I want my income next year to be this, and you will be able to know exactly how much time you need to spend in each activity because you know how much time it has taken you to get a listing, to get an appointment, okay? How many contacts you had to make to get an appointment. It will help you plan your year ahead of time. If you don't have a plan, you plan to fail. To succeed, you've got to have a plan. To have a plan, you got to know the numbers to put into that plan. Okay? So I wanted to go into, give me a second to get into this screen. I wanted to go into CD Desk. Okay. Should be here. Share. In touch. Ah, sorry, guys. Too many people in there. That's good to see. That is actually good to see that there's too many people in there that we can't get in. Wow. I have never seen that happen before. But I will do, probably next week, I will do some technology training because we need it on probably Moxie Present and InTouch. Okay, so that you have that. But what I also wanted to show you, here, CB Exchange. Everybody says they don't know what to post to social media. Okay. Oh, sorry. I hit the wrong one. CB Priest is the one I wanted. So if you come into CB Briefs, I always like to go to the Blue Matter blog. Okay. So let's go to this one, how to safely move your plants to your new home. So let's just say you want to post this on Facebook. Okay. That's a problem. I've got house plants. I've got one palm tree in my house that's tall. I don't know that I would ever be able to move it if I moved. It'd be like the last time I had one like that. I had to give it to someone. But even the smaller plants can be a problem. So you go in here, you find the article you want, you click Facebook. Okay. There we go. Post to Facebook. The material's here. All you utilize it. Okay. 4 investments worth making in your first home. Older articles. Up here, if it, when it scrolls through here, you'll find that there's some great material. A lot of this is stuff that I use for recruiting. Here we go, simple water saving bathroom upgrades. Okay. But you'll be amazed that you can constantly, if you just go into this one area of my desk, you will find enough in here to keep your posts going in Facebook and all the other categories that all the other social medias that you use for as long as you need to, pretty much. Okay. And like I said, I do the Blue Matter blogs, but if you look, there's other material in here. Okay. So. And what was it else? Oh, yes, I know. Red X. Are you still being able to see the screen, or did that mess it up?
I can see it.
Okay, good. So some of the products that they have available is they do the expired GeoLeads, so that's for your farming. So if you're farming an area, they can track down the phone numbers and information for you. FSBOs for rent by owner, pre-foreclosures. Storm Dialer is their auto dialer. Vortex, I am not even sure what Vortex is. That's something that's new. Okay. But if you go in here and look at their materials, so this includes one MLS, and I believe this is for expireds only. It's $59.99 a month, and I tell you, it is worth every penny. Okay, it includes one MLS. But go to theredx.com and explore this. It is worth anything that you pay for it, because you will make so much money. It's unreal with this. Okay, it will save you tons of time. The key to it is working smarter, not harder. The reason people, a couple of reasons why people do not prospect. Number one is fear of, I have no clue what to say, and oh my God, what if I mess up? Like I said, look at it as a crank call that you can make money on. It doesn't matter if you mess up, because these people have no clue who you are anyway. Take the scripts I'm going to send you, make them your own. Get that information though. The important part is to say it in a way that works for you, but to get the information. All right. And thirdly is the amount of research involved in it. This eliminates the research. And I'm going to tell you right now, I have yet to see an agent be successful only working their sphere. The only time that happens is when they have spent 5 to 6 years in the beginning of their career on the phone. And then after that, you've built up enough previous business that if you're working your sphere correctly, you can get business from that. But you got to remember, those people in your sphere, after a while, they move away. You know, they grow older, they pass away. You've got to always be adding new business. If you're not adding new business, your business starts dying. So even when you reach that point where you've got so much business from your sphere that you barely have any time to actually do the prospecting, that's when you need to look at maybe not prospecting as many days a week or starting a team. That's your two options. Okay. But to get to that point, you need to really add some numbers to your database. And this is the way to do it. Okay. Any questions, guys? Anybody? No? Let me see if I need to unmute you guys again. Tracy, you're muted. You must mute. Tracy must have muted from home, and I can't unmute her. All right.
I'm here.
All right. I know you're there, Mike. I can hear you, but Tracy's muted and I can't hear her. All right. If no questions, none. Explore the Red X. I'm telling you, you can make a ton of money with this program. Okay. So, all right. If nobody has any questions, I'm going to let you guys go. Same time next week. I will let you know what the subject is. Okay.
Okay, did you say you'd
Right.
send us that FSBO script?
Yes, I will. That's what I'm going to do as soon as I unhook from everything in the conference room and head into my office.
Okay. So
All right.
us two lucky people get the script. That's great.
Yep. All right. Talk to you
Thank
soon.
you. Thank you.
Bye.
La, la, la.
Nobody live today, but I had 3 remotes that never come into the office. Mike Kowalski, is that how you say his name? Mike Walski. Yeah, Mike Walsky and Tracy, and who was? Yeah, Tracy Hector was on there, believe it or not. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Gotta love it. She stayed through the whole thing. Tells me she's wanting to learn how to do better business. Yeah, I stop and talk to Mike all the time when he's in here, and he sends me, if he gets stuck on something, he sends me emails and asks me questions and stuff. But I was really surprised when he popped onto the training today. Really is.